Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Global Business Update with TA. Well, Tata is definitely sharing its way to success. Tata Motors is on a comeback in its corporate journey, having a fantastic performance which they have not seen over the last decade. And guess what? The success has been sharing the structure models of their vehicles. They've gone from a company that had about 6 to 8 different vehicle building platforms for about 10 models to a company that has about 8 vehicle models running on about 2 platforms, the Alpha and the Omega. Looks like that is the new mantra for vehicle companies as they move forward, because rather than having multiple different costs over multiple different vehicle structure platforms, having 2 models that can be shared across so many different brands is definitely helping them with the economies of scale. Meanwhile, we also see that in Nexperia, that's right, a Chinese company is being investigated for their attempts to buy over the largest chip maker in UK, Newport Wafer Fab, also known as NPF. And this particular organization's takeover attempts are being investigated to see whether it is actually in the best interest of the people of Britain. More Chinese deals are coming under scrutiny, as we can see there. Now, for all that talk about sustainability, well, looks like BMW and Volkswagen have actually not been following that much. Recent investigations showed that the two organizations, and under Volkswagen we see Audi, Porsche and some of the other brands coming in as well, they are fined for more than $1 billion over a collusion to try and not market or promote their vehicles based on the sustainability technologies which each other had. Looks like they actually had the technology in order to cut the emission levels even below the government stipulated minimum amounts, but they just decided not to really focus on it much and to keep focusing on their profitability aspects. Daimler was also in on this, but since they were the ones who revealed it, they are off the hook. Well, big brands need to start going beyond talking when it comes to sustainability, isn't it? Now, we also have a plethora of news coming in from China. First up, just days after the IPO of Didi, the largest ride-hailing app in China, downloads of Didi has actually been blocked, in a sign how tough the Chinese government is actually getting on their tech giants, especially due to concerns over big data. And not only that, over the last few months, actually since February onwards, the total value of all these big tech giants of China has been wiped out by more than $800 billion due to some of these tough, stringent measures taken by the government of China. But one more positive news from China, the owner of the contemporary Ameresekere Technology Limited, which is the largest electronic vehicle battery manufacturer for most of the top brands in the world, including companies like Tesla. Zheng Yukun, the founder, the owner of that company, has been listed among the top 5 richest men in Asia, going on to show that the market for electronic vehicles batteries are indeed spiraling, and whoever has invested at the right time are definitely now getting their rewards back. On another note, China is seen as the last lender or the lender of last resort, especially for some of the not so clean energy projects such as coal-powered plants. But recently they said no to funding one such initiative in Zimbabwe, which kind of throws the African nations into a turmoil. Some of those power plants, such as coal, might actually be cheaper than some of the more sustainable power sources and might be the only solution which is affordable right now for some of the poor African nations. But with China too pulling out due to environmental concerns, with the European Union countries and US government under more pressure from various stakeholders to cut funding for such not so clean energy power projects, looks like the power struggles in the African nations are definitely set to continue. And on a final note, the struggles for increases of the minimum wage in South Korea is throwing their economic recovery into a turmoil. Currently, it is somewhere around $7.7 per hour, and they are trying to get it to the ranks of $8.3 per an hour and above, because right now, just to give you an indication of the levels of inflation, they say you can't even afford 2 McDonald's burgers with that particular minimum wage pricing they currently have. The president, whose term is coming to an end, has built a legacy over the promise of increasing the minimum wage rates. He has increased it quite a significant amount, but it's falling short of the anticipations. But the concern is, with the raise of the minimum wage rates, will there be a problem on the economic recovery, especially as South Korea tries to emerge out of the pandemic as a success story in recovering from the pandemic, and also as they try to enhance their semiconductor manufacturing industries and so many other associated industries. This could be the era of South Korea, but how well they manage to get the labor rights and the labor wage rates, the minimum labor wage rates expected at a decent level where the people are happy and so are the business owners, will define how successful their recovery actually becomes. That's it for this week. And no matter what business you're in, stay busy, stay safe, and keep moving.